Hey guys, welcome back to Vanishing Gates. Once again to this exciting episode. As always, I am your host, into the strange, the weird, the paranormal, true crime, and etc., 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 blah, 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 same spiel every week. I'm Jay, and this is,
I'm Paco, and I do have to admit that this show is totally weird and unexplained.
Fact. So, we'll talk to you guys about our sponsors for the show. Jason Glenn, Cotton Studio. Go check him out on Facebook for some really awesome works of art where it comes to like the Halloween or scary Christmas, scary Easter kind of, milieu.
I'd like to show you guys the worm that he's making us, but we haven't received it yet. And so
We stop with that already?
I'm just saying, Jason, where is my worm?
You don't get one. Anyway, that said, also check out
Come on now.
ProPrismDesign.com for all of your business card, marketing,
Coffee
pretties,
mugs,
needs,
shirts,
shirts, embroidery,
you know what I mean?
whatnot.
Like if you want it, like all over your
ProPrismDesign.com.
house, just let them know. Like they'll come put your name all over your house.
I don't know if they do full house vinyl wrapping.
They don't do that?
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
your
know.
boat. Maybe your boat.
You'd
Like,
have
if
to
you
go to
have
the
a house
website
boat,
and check.
if you
It
got a
might
houseboat,
work.
will they do the houseboat?
I don't know. You'd have to ask. You'd have to go to ProPrismDesign.com. Send them an email.
You might want to do that.
And tell them Vanishing Gates sent you.
You might want to do that.
Okay. So, how was your week, Paco?
My week was,
Well, we had Halloween on Tuesday.
yeah, my week was productive.
Productive?
I worked, so,
Stop getting trick-or-treaters about 8:40.
Yeah, what was up with that, though?
Well, it happens.
I mean,
it's a hit and miss where I live, man.
it was cool. Like, we had a really good time, during Halloween and everything with the pumpkin carving.
15, 20 trick-or-treaters, not
yeah,
too bad, I guess.
it wasn't bad at all.
Considering last year I had like 3.
But I was really hoping to scare a lot more people than that.
Well, I know people were digging the costume. They were coming up.
They most definitely were.
They dug the house and they were checking out the decorations.
Got a lot of pictures were taken and everything.
Oh, that was kind of strange. People walking by and taking pictures and recording video of the house.
It kind of was. It kind of was.
It's kind of strange. It was a bit different.
I'm
not used to
we're
that
into the strange,
thing.
the weird, and the mentally insane. So that's okay. But I had a lot of fun though. It was a really good time.
That's good.
It was a good time.
That's good.
The house was amazing.
Yeah, I put a lot of work into that, man.
No, absolutely.
And then, to have that idiot last Sunday rip everything up and have to put it back together Monday afternoon.
I was actually kind of hoping he would swing back by during Halloween.
I'm not too upset about how it turned out in the end.
No,
I'll have to do a lot more next year.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Not that you did too much this year.
So, been watching the second season of Stranger Things, which I waited a frippin' year for. I just made up a word, frippin'.
Frippin'. Now, I just want to say that show is frippin' awesome.
Well worth the wait. But now I'm going to have to wait another year for season 3.
Oh my god, I cannot wait.
And I'm not really sure where they're going to go with that season.
I don't know either, but I really look for it. I like what they've done with the show.
Without
I like
giving
the concepts
spoilers,
behind
I saw some possibility of some spin-offs and maybe some stuff to work into a third season, but nothing really that stood out
So you said that you haven't watched the actual Beyond Stranger Things yet, right?
I just watched the first episode.
So just the first episode. Well, it's not gonna there's really no spoiler alerts here. It's just him talking with the people.
Oh, in that show, there's lots of spoilers.
But,
they tell you right out, don't watch this first.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for you, like if I was to tell you, it's not. I'm not really spoiling like a show for you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the viewers might not have seen it.
Well, all I'm getting at though is that this show within itself is made to be able to last years. So it's not going to stop after season 2. It's not going to stop after season 3. We're looking at like a solid.
It depends on how they follow season 2. If season 3 blows ghosts, they're not going to have season 4.
Of course, I understand that, but
with their
talk, they're really looking forward to having this show go on for at least a few more years.
It definitely sounded like they planned on having the long run of the show.
Oh, absolutely. And I really look forward to it. I would really like more episodes within the seasons too. It's just 9 episodes.
9 hours worth of binging though is quite a bit of binging. It went by too quick. It really did. It went by a lot quicker than I expected it to. So I got some news articles here. So from BeyondRealityNews.com, what would aliens really look like? Here are some hints from evolution.
Now, we know you guys can totally not see the pictures that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I just had the picture up there because I forgot to delete it. I deleted the pictures in the other articles.
Perfect.
So it says, we're all a little obsessed about aliens, lonely little earthlings that we are. Science and philosophy are bent on knowing why we're here and whether we're alone. Until we're the ones doing the probing or something from beyond Proxima Centauri, we have to make do with our imaginations. But with the help of experts in evolutionary biology, we could make some fascinating guesses. What should be out there? Said researchers from the University of Oxford have decided to use their skills in this field to outline an argument for applying natural selection to predicting the morphologies and functions of extraterrestrial organisms. Past approaches in the field of astrobiology. I didn't know astrobiology was a field. Fuck me.
Hey, careful now.
We're still PG-13.
Careful now.
Anyway, past approaches in the field of astrobiology, where you get
Can't say
degree in that,
astrobiology on
have
there.
been largely mechanistic. Taking what we see on Earth, what we know about chemistry, geology, and physics to make predictions about aliens, says researcher Sam Levine. Instead of assuming life forms from the other worlds...
You think he's related to Adam Levine?
I have no idea. You'd have to ask him.
Sam, are you related?
I don't think he's watching.
What if he is?
Well, then we're better off than I thought we were. Instead of assuming life forms from other worlds are bound by similar chemical attributes, we should be more focused on naturally selective processes, claims Levine. It is Levine. They spell it twice, different ways.
No, it's spelled the same way.
No, it's different.
Just what?
Because
it's bold?
Sure. This is a useful approach because theoretical predictions will apply to aliens that are silicone-based, do not have DNA, and breathe nitrogen, for example. To sketch out the kinds of biology.
Based. I mean, isn't it like a form of like plastic and
not breasts? Not silicone breasts.
I'm thinking like you know, like when they make
silicon, not silicone.
Well, I mean, sure.
Your carbon molecules are dense.
Some of these amazing nicotine sticks.
To sketch out the kinds of biology we'd expect to find out there on the kinds of oddball worlds we're discovering. Why are they going to be oddball worlds?
I know. I don't understand that. Right?
The researchers argue we should gather evidence on any critical planetary moments that could act as an evolutionary trigger. Evidence is mounting for massive global events on our own planet, kickstarting new evolutionary pathways, such as releasing bursts of nutrients. On Earth, these events have been defining moments on the path of life, the merging of cells to form significant symbiotic partnerships, or the diversification of cells in colonies to represent something more multicellular. The researchers sketch out some back-to-the-envelope concepts of how complexity might proceed in another biosphere. And you guys can't see this sketch that we're looking at. This looks like something Georgia O'Keeffe would have drawn.
I'm pretty sure. I actually, when I went down to one of those big theme parks down there in the South, I'm pretty sure I ate at that table right there.
I'm pretty sure that one in the middle is from a book on sexually transmitted diseases. That looks like a blue waffle syndrome right there. I'm glad you guys can't see the pictures because they are not.
That one actually has feet though. Like you actually see the feet.
It really does. Dude, actually.
It actually has feet.
It looks like something
kind of crazy.
That looks exactly like the thing from the first season of the first episode of Rick and Morty. Predicting these steps in complexity might not tell us much about the fine details, but they could still help us flesh out on which worlds we should expect slime and on which worlds we should hope for something more communicative.
So they're connected with Nickelodeon then, huh?
Oh, Jesus, no. We still can't say whether aliens will walk on two legs or have big green eyes, says Levin. But we believe evolutionary theory offers a unique additional tool for trying to understand what aliens will be like. And we have shown some examples of the kinds of strong predictions we can make with it.
I'm so happy we're live.
I know. To be fair, proposing we apply evolution to astrobiology, again that thing, isn't exactly groundbreaking or even remotely novel, but it's clearly a useful exercise in exploring what's possible. Nothing in what we've learned about evolution on Earth suggests it wouldn't work on any type of imperfectly replicating system, after all. It can even be argued that this feature should form the very basis of how we identify life, meaning if we did discover biology somewhere, it would be, by definition, a self-sustained chemical system capable of undergoing Darwinian evolution. Thinking of it this way, the very concept of discrete alien species might be a red herring. On Earth, the boundaries between individual organisms and our biosphere are often hazy. Likewise, first contact might be less like a handshake with ET and more like dipping a finger in a planet-wide primordial soup. That sounds delicious.
Ouch.
I mean, I feel like you probably dipped your finger in some planet-wide primordial soups before.
Oh.
No, we don't have the rights for that. That's past 10 seconds.
That's...
At each level of the organism, there will be mechanisms in place to eliminate conflict, maintain cooperation, and keep the organism functioning, says Levin. It's Levin. It's Levin. It's Levin. We can even offer some examples of what these mechanisms will be. The research paper might not be revolutionary, but acts as a useful reminder of evolution as a defining quality of life. It serves as an interesting touchstone for what we could reasonably expect from biology that evolved on an exoplanet.
Can we really expect anything, though?
I mean, death and taxes.
You know, okay.
Perhaps we could even begin to create some kind of preliminary categories without setting foot on any of these far-flung worlds. At the very least, it's added fuel for one of humanity's favorite pastimes, dreaming that we're not alone. And it says on the bottom that this research was published in the International Journal of Astrobiology. How is that a thing?
Which, again, like, I never even heard of astrobiology, really.
Oh, man. So, yeah, basically, it's just, there was nothing in there. I should have pre-read that article.
I mean, there was, like, literally nothing in there that
except for something that looked like
other than
an STD
astrobiology
vagina.
And Levine.
And Levin. So, another article from ibtimes.com. Nazca alien corpses are of extraterrestrial origin, scientists confirm. Now, guys, I don't know what this website is. And these are those Peruvian mummies that they found. That the Gaia Online guys are really going crazy about right now.
Okay.
There's like they did scans on them and everything. They look like they're covered in gypsum powder. To me, they actually look like someone manufactured them.
Okay.
Flatly, is what it looks like. But I'm not a doctor.
I mean, nowadays, or a scientist.
Or a scientist.
You are.
Technically speaking.
You are.
A scientist who investigated the mummified corpses unearthed in Nazca, Peru, has claimed that the remains are of non-human beings and may be connected to extraterrestrial life. Dr. Jose Benitez, a doctor in forensic medicine, is a part of the team which researched the three-fingered corpses found in a Nazca cave. Soon after the discovery of these corpses, many leading scientists in Peru called it a hoax and said that they had been created using ancient mummies of humans.
It's Bigfoot.
I mean, like...
It's totally Bigfoot.
A, no. And B, I don't know how they're thinking it's human when the bones don't even look the same. So, now Dr. Jose Benitez has openly come forward and has made it clear these corpses do not belong to Earth, and may be from some other distant planets. This is not the first time that a reputed scientist is ensuring the authenticity of these corpses. Last month, Dr. Edson Vivenkoa, a renowned skeletal specialist, has affirmed that these remains are of extraterrestrial origins. I kind of want to see these guys as doctors.
I totally want to see the remains of the.
No, I just want to see who these guys are and how they're so renowned and in what circles they're renowned. According to Jose Benitez, the corpses found had several abnormalities.
Can you read?
Yes, I can quite well, considering I didn't pre-read this.
Goodness gracious, man.
I don't have my glasses. When compared to a human body, the doctor made it clear these remains have big head, wider eyes, and smaller noses. Interestingly, these corpses do not have ears, and they have 3 fingers and 3 toes. The bone structure is also different, as it's very much wider than humans. Now, that said, I'm pretty sure it meant 3 fingers and 3 toes on each extremity.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I think
it didn't say that in the article.
No, it didn't.
It just said they had 3 fingers and 3 toes.
Like, could you imagine though, just having like 3 fingers and 3 toes?
Well, I've been trying to follow this story, and there's not a lot of info because I'm not going to pay Gaia an exorbitant amount of money to watch their series.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
No.
If they were sincere about what they had found and it wasn't something they just made up, they wouldn't be charging for it. They would pay for itself.
Right. And if they like, you know, if they paid to watch us, I mean, then I'd pay to watch them. But, yeah.
In the midst of these developments, many conspiracy theorists believe that the Peruvian government is covering up the incident and are not conducting any further studies to ensure the authenticity of the claims made by experts like Benitez.
Are you saying that another form of government is covering up information?
I mean, in this situation, I don't think it's probably that legit because I don't know who these people are and I'm not really sure who this website is.
Well, I mean, how legit do you think Area 51 is with all the cover-ups that we got?
No? Too legit to quit? Am I the only one that can still do that?
I mean, I don't understand the handlings of that.
Jose Benitez has also asked for an investigation on this issue. It's very important. We are faced with the possibility of discovering an organic being very similar to the human, but totally different at the same time, says Benitez. Reporter reports the Daily Star, which I'm pretty sure is a tabloid.
So it's exactly the same, but totally different?
But totally different.
Okay, just want to make sure that I'm following along here.
60% of the time it works every time. Even in the midst of these claims, a DNA test performed on these bodies indicated that the remains were 100% human.
But totally different.
Carbon dating performed on the bodies indicated they lived between 245 AD and 410 AD. So even in the midst of these claims, a DNA test performed indicated the remains were 100% human.
So that totally just like debunks everything that they also
maybe I should have read the article first for that. Like, I don't know. I feel like I just wasted our time with something I already figured.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh man, beer would be good in chat.
Yes.
Beer would be delicious.
Yes, it would. If you have any, please bring some by for me.
Oh man, I won't argue about that. I might actually partake. It's been 2 weeks now. All right, so next article from BBC.
My goodness, how many of these do you have?
One more. This actually
God!
This article leads into the main meat and potatoes of the show.
Hey, which I actually have a little sidetrack for that.
Good. From BBC.com. Big void identified in Khufu's Great Pyramid at Giza. Now, I've been looking into this for a few days now since they announced it on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
Can we really trust anything from BBC.com?
Yeah. No, this is legit. This is all over the place. This is just the article I pulled. It's the most cited one, so this is the one I grabbed.
Okay.
So I've actually been reading into this because it's really interesting.
So is this the one that the pharaoh was born without a butthole?
No, that was a cat, and that was the last episode.
Right, that was...
We should have done a follow-up and seen how much money they raised to get Kitty a butthole.
I know, right?
Because we really just wanted to help get that pussy some ass.
Damn straight we did.
Anyway, the mysteries of the pyramids have deepened with the discovery of what appears to be a giant void within the Khufu, or the Cheops monument in Egypt. It's not known why the cavity exists, or indeed if it holds anything of value because it's not obviously accessible. So basically you can't get into it.
Right.
They have no real way to get in there.
Right. I have a way. It's called TNT. No?
I'm pretty sure that the Egyptian government would frown upon that thoroughly.
Well, I mean, it's a way in, right? I mean, if I blew it to smithereens, I'd be able to get in there.
Also, if you use dynamite in there, it might ruin the superstructure and you might die.
I mean, that's okay.
So Japanese and French scientists made the announcement after 2 years of study at the famous pyramid complex. They've been using a technique called muography. Guys, M-U-O-graphy. You Google it. I'm not going to go there. Which can sense density changes inside large rock structures. The Great Pyramid, or Khufu's Pyramid, is thought to have been constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu between 2509 and 2483 BC. At 140 meters, or 460 feet in height, it is the largest of Egyptian pyramids located at Giza on the outskirts of Cairo. Scan Pyramid has already detected a smaller void on the northern face. The new cavity is perhaps 30 meters long and several meters in height. I know girls like that. All three of the Muon technologies sense the same feature in the same place.
Are there any like arc energies or solar energies around this area?
This is not Destiny.
Okay, my bad.
The Traveler is not upon us.
Okay.
Khufu famously contains 3 large interior chambers and a series of passageways, the most striking of which is the 47-meter long, 8-meter high Grand Gallery. The newly identified feature is said to sit directly above this and have similar dimensions. So it's roughly the same size as the Grand Gallery and just right above it, which is really interesting.
It is pretty interesting.
We don't know whether this big void is horizontal or inclined. We don't know if this void is made by one structure or several successive structures, explained Mehdi Tayoubi from the HIP Institute of Paris.
HIP Institute.
I'm not going to say hip, but it didn't add the periods to make it an acronym.
Hippity dippity.
What we are sure about is that this big void is there. That it is impressive, and that it was not expected, as far as I know, by any sort of theory. The Scan Pyramids team is being very careful not to describe the cavity as a chamber.
Can they really have like came up with a better name than Scan Pyramids team? I mean,
in all honesty, why would you want to muddy it down when that's what you're doing? What do you do for a living? I'm scanning the pyramids.
I'm not saying like muddy it down, but I mean, come on. I
mean,
Razor. How is that just like now we know exactly what it is that you do. I mean,
what do you do? Oh, I work for Scan Pyramids. Okay, so what does that entail? We scan pyramids. Right. You don't have to follow up. We say we scan pyramids.
That's cool. There's no mystery behind the name, you know.
There's not supposed to be. It's pretty simple, cut and dry.
We have a mystery behind our name, Vanishing Gates. It's not like
we're not a scientific program.
We are the paranormal team.
We're not that.
No, exactly. There's mystery behind our name. I think that all I'm saying is they could have put a little bit more thought. They could have put a little bit more thought into it.
You write them and let them know.
I will not do that. I will not do that.
They needed a better name.
And you know what? I will on Jack's behalf.
Khufu contains compartments that experts believe may have been incorporated by the builders to avoid collapse by relieving some of the stress of the overlying weight of stone. The Higher King's Chamber, for example, has 5 such spaces above it. The renowned American archaeologist Mark Lehner sits on a panel reviewing sky. Oh, that's actually, I should have just deleted that because that was from a picture I deleted. I just read the underline for a picture that's not there anymore.
Nice.
Oh no, never mind, I didn't. He sits on a panel reviewing scanned pyramids' work. Is what he actually sits as a panel member. I got to be more careful and read articles before I actually put them up. He says the Muon science is sound, but he is not yet convinced the discovery has significance. It could be a kind of space that the builders left to protect the very narrow roof of the Grand Gallery from the weight of the pyramid. He told the BBC's Science and Action program. Right now, it's just a big difference. It's an anomaly. But we need more of a focus on it, especially in a day and age when we can no longer go blasting our way through the pyramids with gunpowder, as British Egyptologist Howard Weiss did in the early 1800s.
What did I say? TNT. That's what I'm talking about, Brits. Let's blow that thing. Let's get in there.
There's a reason we have moved from the 1800s to now.
I'm just saying. It just.
You just want to set things back.
Why not?
Gunpowder.
Explosives. I mean, it solves. I mean, you can fix anything with TNT. You can literally fix anything with TNT. Because once you blow it up, there's no need to fix it.
No.
It's so true.
Media caption, Mehdi Tayubi. It's a big void, similar to the Grand Gallery. But what is it? Media caption? That must have been one of those things I was supposed to delete. No, it's not.
But what is it?
I don't know.
What is it?
One of the team leaders, Hani Hillel, I need my glasses, from Cairo University, believes the void is too big to have a pressure-relieving purpose, but concedes the experts will debate this. What we are doing is trying to understand the internal structure of the pyramids and how this pyramid has been built, he told reporters. Famous Egyptologists, archaeologists, and architects, they have some hypotheses, and what we are doing is giving them data. It is they who have to tell us whether this is expected or not. Much of the uncertainty comes down to the rather imprecise data gained from the muography. The non-invasive technique has been developed over the past 50 years to probe the interiors of phenomena as diverse as volcanoes and glaciers. It's even been used to investigate the failed nuclear reactors at Fukushima. Muography makes use of the shower of high-energy particles that rain down on the Earth's surface from space. When superfast cosmic rays collide with air molecules, they produce a range of daughter particles, including muons. These also move close to the speed of light and only weakly interact with matter. So when they reach the surface, they penetrate deeply into the rock. Just get in there and just penetrate deep into that rock. But some of the particles be absorbed and deflected by the atoms in the rock's minerals. And if the muon detectors are placed under a region of interest, then a picture of density anomalies can be obtained. You were going too long without you getting involved.
Is that really necessary?
I'm not sure it wasn't. When I'm reading stuff that I don't understand, I gotta do something.
Actually, I was gonna butt in earlier. When you would, hold on, scroll up for a second first. When you went over the muon detectors, do you think that comes out of muography?
The Scan Pyramids team used 3 different muography technologies, and all 3 agreed on the position and scale of the void. It repeats. Sebastian Procurer.
Now that's a name. The Sebastian Procurer
from
team. That's what they mean.
CEA-IRFU, University of Paris, Saclay.
A little derogatory.
Emphasized that muography only sees large features, and that the team's scans were not just picking up on a general porosity inside the pyramid. Good God, what am I doing with my life? With muons, you measure an integrated density, he explained. So if there are holes everywhere, then the integrated density will be the same, more or less, in all directions, because everything will be averaged. But if you see some excess in the muons, it means that you have a bigger void. You don't get that in a Swiss cheese. The article actually says you don't get that in a Swiss cheese.
Now, do you think you'd be able to get that in some Munster? I really like Munster cheese. That's actually my favorite type of cheese is Munster cheese.
The question now arises as to how the void should be investigated further. Jean-Baptiste Moret from the French National Institute for Computer Science and Applied Mathematics, or INRIA, said the team had no idea how to do it, but that the Egyptian authorities would first have to approve it, which they won't. Our concept is to drill a very small hole, I added they won't, very small hole to potentially explore monuments like this. We aim to have a robot that could fit in a 3-centimeter hole. Basically, we're working on flying robots, he said. So that covered a cavalcade of things.
All I'm saying is that you guys just need to get your hands on some really good C4 and just blow that place up.
We do not condone you blowing up the Great Pyramid.
Paco's views on Vanishing Gates have no relation to... Can they see what they are saying? What we are saying? Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can now. I
couldn't
couldn't see before because I was reading a news article on the monitor.
Yeah.
So now we are back. So that last story kind of leads us into tonight's actual topic. Now, did you have somewhere to go first with that? You said you had a side
No.
story.
Well, I'll actually
later
I'll
on
chime
with
in.
the
Yeah,
topic.
I'll chime in
Okay,
with
so
the topic itself. Yeah.
The Great Pyramid. Okay, so you guys, there's lots of movies been made about curses. About the mummy's curse, the Pharaoh's curse. You've seen The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Have you seen the new one with Tom Cruise yet?
I'm not going to see that.
No. I actually have to admit, I'm happy that I never paid to go watch it.
So you actually sat through this?
I did. I watched it.
I've heard nothing but terrible things.
I watched it online. And it was an okay movie. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. I'm actually a fan of Tom Cruise. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't really like him, but I find him to be an all right actor. I enjoy most of the movies that he ends up putting out, and I just don't think that the Mummy seemed a little bit more Hollywoodish than it did to stay true to like the Egyptian culture part of it all. And they put a really...
You mean like literally every other mummy film ever made?
Well, I mean, at least, there wasn't really... Within the Brandon Fraser one, though, like, they actually...
Brandon Fraser?
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan?
Brendan Fraser. I'm so sorry. It's
he
Levine.
gets really upset when people mispronounce his name.
So does Sam Levine. And so...
It's not Levine.
Like his movies, there wasn't a lot of, other than like the mummies coming alive and stuff like that, there wasn't really much more CGI than that.
Hold on. You're going to say that mummies didn't actually come to life?
No, I'm just, you know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get at is the whole CGI aspect of the movie. Okay. And so other than the mummies coming alive and stuff, that was like the only CGI aspect of Brendan Fraser's movies. Okay. And then Tom Cruise's one, there was a lot more CGI to that, and it kind of like trailed off into like technology and freaking Hollywoodish style of a movie, and I didn't really care for it too much.
I didn't.
Like I said, I'm happy I didn't pay for it.
I have no desire to actually watch that at all. I don't even know how this even comes up.
And this has been another episode of OPP.
Yeah, that thing you don't do anymore for some inexplicable reason.
It got weird.
And
unexplained.
All right, so the curse of the Pharaoh, the Pharaoh's curse, Pyramid's curse, whatever you want to call it. The curse supposedly befalls anyone who disturbs a mummy, especially a pharaoh's mummy or tomb.
Right.
Okay. Now, anyone. Thieves, archaeologists, anybody.
It doesn't matter.
Some random kid wandering into the pharaoh's tomb. Boom, you're cursed. Your life sucks now, kid.
It doesn't matter who you are, or what you do, or, what type of...
Now, it wasn't common, though, for curses to actually be found in the hieroglyphs in the tombs. There was a few situations, but not a ton. One of the actual instances of curses on tombs include the case of the Mastaba, or the Eternal House, of Kentika Ikeki from the 6th dynasty of Saqqara, at Saqqara. But these curses seem to be directed more at the priests in their rituals and how to keep things pure and keep the rituals correct and not to mess with the bodies and botch the mummification and all that thing. And caretakers of the tombs.
Who would really want to be?
So they were the ones that were born with the curse, not necessarily passers-by. And one of the main reasons that this was a thing, I'll get to that, but stories of curses, they went back all the way to the 19th century, basically. They weren't really known well before that. And they grew more rapidly after Howard Carter, the Egyptologist and archaeologist, actually opened Tutankhamun's tomb. King Tut's tomb. No curses were actually found in or around Tut's tomb, despite popular belief, and Canadian archaeologist and Egyptologist Donald Redford found there to be so little evidence to suggest that curses were even a damned thing that he just considered it all rubbish and poppycock. He just didn't even accept it as a reality.
I mean, I probably wouldn't either.
He was like, "No, this isn't a thing. There wasn't any evidence. This is stupid. Nobody does this."
I mean, stuff like that. I would actually, coming from a man-made structure and stuff like that, I would totally have to see it to believe it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there was so like the idea of curses. It was silly anyway because the culture at the time. I have no idea. The culture at the time when the mummification was happening, when these burials were happening, the culture was in such a way where it would be totally unrealistic to think that anyone would ever desecrate a tomb.
Right.
It would be totally unheard of and unthought. They wouldn't even think about it.
No.
It wasn't something that you would go, oh, hey, we should protect this with a curse because someone later might come along and do something. Because they didn't view that.
It's called respectfulness.
Well, yeah, and they didn't have that in their wheelhouse of a possibility. To them, it was so culturally unacceptable, it wouldn't even have come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
It would have just been such a national tragedy or weird thing and out of place. They didn't even think about it. So the idea of a curse being inscribed on a tomb is actually kind of far-fetched and historically kind of stupid from a perspective of like anthropology.
So do we have somebody that actually got cursed?
Well, we have a list of possible curses.
Possible.
So hieroglyphics, I mean, weren't even translated until the beginning of the 19th century. That's some French dude. I should have wrote his name down. Sorry, French dude, but you're already dead. I don't really feel bad about it.
We still love you, French
As
dude.
such, any curses prior to that, you would have no way of knowing because nobody spoke hieroglyphic. Nobody read hieroglyphics anymore. So if there was a curse, you wouldn't even have known about it. It would have just been chalked up to bad luck to the person that went into the tomb if there was actually a frickin' curse.
Right.
Which there's no real evidence of. Then we go back to Carter and Tut's curse. So Howard Carter's team suffered at sometimes mysterious deaths around 1922 and later when his team actually opened Tutankhamun's tomb, or King Tut's tomb, his burial chamber.
Is this the one one of his team members ended up becoming a mummy? They found him
That didn't happen.
No? Yeah, no, it did.
Nope.
Back in I think it was
Negative.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
We'll Google it.
I'm gonna
And let me
Google
know
it
if you
right
find one and make sure you
I'm
check
gonna
your
Google it
sources.
right
So Carter had actually sent a messenger to his house on an errand. And upon arrival, the messenger noticed a cobra in a bird cage in Carter's house. And the cobra actually had Carter's canary in its mouth and just killed it. And on his way there, he had heard this cry that he thought was almost human before getting in there and seeing the situation. That was the cobra that had gotten into Carter's house and killed his bird was a royal cobra, or Ophiophagus hana, the longest poisonous snake in the world. It's also the same cobra that was worn on the king's headdress, the pharaoh's headdress, and supposedly would actually bite enemies of the king in his presence.
Right,
was the idea.
Back in 1957, archaeologists in Egypt found one of their crew has been turned into a blood-sucking mummy after they have unleashed a 3,000-year curse by entering a pharaoh's tomb.
It's literally IMDb for a movie, isn't it?
And you could totally watch it. And it's about an hour and a half long. It's called The Pharaoh's Curse. And if you guys ever want to actually just, watch a movie about the Pharaoh's Curse.
We actually should have watched that and done a review at the end of the show
cool.
about it.
That would have been
I'm
really
not going
cool.
to sit through that garbage.
No, I mean, it's all black and white.
I've actually
There's
seen
no
it
color
a long
or
time
anything,
ago.
So, I mean,
but...
you guys should totally not maybe check it out.
So the cobra that had gotten in there was actually the same cobra, in the recap, that would be on Pharaoh's head or on his headdress. Now this started, because the cobra is like a symbol for the royalty in Egypt, this started a bunch of the locals around Carter's house start talking about curses and whatnot. Getting the superstition going.
Right.
Supposedly the snake got in the same day that Tut's tomb was actually opened by Carter's crew. So that's supposed to be the correlation, is about the time the messenger would have got there, they would have opened the tomb, and then the snake would have got into Carter's house, got his canary, and done all this weird symbolism that is probably just a little horseshit.
Coincidence?
Yes.
I think not.
Now, Lord Carnarvon was the first of the odd, or at least coincidental, deaths related to the opening of Tut's tomb. Now, what happened with Lord Carnarvon is he was there on the day it was opened. He was bitten by a mosquito. That in itself wasn't fatal. It wasn't like it had malaria or any of the other wonderful diseases mosquitoes are transferring these days.
They are horrible little buggers, though.
I hate them. But what did happen was he went to shave and actually cut himself shaving.
Over the mosquito bite?
He cut the mosquito bite, and that actually gave him a blood infection, was what he actually died from.
Well, I mean, when you're using like rusty blades of a shaver, I mean,
with the bacteria too. Like I remember when Geraldo Rivera was going to go into a tomb, an ancient tomb they were opening. They warned him, don't shave because when we open this, there's a bunch of bacteria and bugs,
open pores,
and sickness
everything
that can get into your pores
yeah,
and can kill you.
You can't
and so what did Geraldo do? He
totally
shaved his
like
frickin'
Like
mustache.
a boss.
And somehow he lived.
Okay,
Okay, that said, though, knowing
amazing.
Geraldo, he probably didn't even get to a tomb. It was probably a sound studio somewhere. Because that guy is so full of crap, his breath stinks. Remember that guy? Remember when Geraldo was like overseas and there's gunfire and he was like 25 miles away from any danger at all. Took a chair to the face though. That
he did. That
was good.
That was good. That was
Wish
good.
that would happen again.
Yeah. Totally survived that too.
But Lord Carnarvon died of the blood poisoning. Now, it was interesting because where he had the mosquito bite was on his cheek. And supposedly, and it's rumored but unfounded, King Tut actually had a mark in the same spot that Lord Carnarvon got bit and cut himself.
Now, how would they know that?
Supposedly. That's the problem. There's no real way to...
There is no
that's
way.
The story.
I mean, how can you tell by skeleton remains?
Supposedly,
like, that
well,
sense.
no, mummified isn't skeletal. There's still skin and stuff.
I mean, still, I mean...
Well, they still have... Have you seen a bog mummy?
No.
Okay, so bog mummies go in and they come out looking like they're almost alive. And they're not even wrapped in stuff. They're just tossed in the peat bogs in Ireland.
Really?
Yeah, they pull them out looking like they're still alive, almost. Not quite alive.
That's
or
horrible.
the monks that mummify themselves.
Could you imagine how bad that would smell?
Well, you wouldn't smell it at all because there's no smell left. It dried out. It's a husk.
That's it?
No, husk. And with the Egyptians, they removed almost all the organs, actually. So you wouldn't have all that decayed smell because now you're mummified.
So now you're just like a human driftwood.
Yeah, pretty much, actually.
Yeah,
It's pretty much.
I mean, I should know this because like back in 6th grade, we did the whole like mummified thing, and like, but that was.
You mummified someone in 6th grade? You went to a different kind of school than I did, buddy. Well, like doing construction and stuff, I would find mummified cats like under the shower bathtubs.
Right.
Because in certain parts, like if there's usually a hole for the plumbing to come down from the bathtub, and all that heat from the water gets in there, and so the cats will get up in there and get stuck, and the heat will just, turn their body and mummify it. Well, they asphyxiate and then they just dry out from the heat, so they become mummified. And you see this like mummified rat-looking thing.
We had a cat. We had a cat crawl up underneath the hood of my dad's F-250 one time, and we started up early in the morning to go hunting.
I'm guessing it didn't mummify.
Let's just say we didn't go hunting.
That's terrible. So, Lord Carnarvon's death inspired English novelist and mystic Marie Corley to write a letter to the New York World Magazine, whatever that is, noting a curse. So she got this idea from a curse from this random book, supposedly, and she wrote this contrived letter about Lord Carnarvon screwing up by getting to the Pharaoh's thing and blah, 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 and that's what did it. And it scared Benito Mussolini. So, yeah, that Benito Mussolini. So bad that he had a mummy that was a gift in Palazzo Chigi, which is the royal palace thing in Italy, or where the politician, the presidency would live or whatever. So Mussolini lived there, and he had this mummy there. He actually had it removed immediately upon reading this letter.
Right.
It freaked him out that bad.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. So then Sir Bruce Ingram, a friend of Carter's, had received a gift from Carter, a mummified hand that he had turned into a paperweight. Carter had turned into a paperweight. And it had a scarab bracelet with an inscription on it. Now, my guess is it wasn't just a hand. I'm guessing it had a bracelet on it. It was probably, about this much of an arm.
Right.
So,
right.
Calling it a hand might be a little bit,
there's
no better way to say it, I guess.
There's no psychotic path to him at all.
But the bracelet had, it was a mummy, dude. They used to give out gifts like that all the time. It was weird.
Would you have a mummy?
Yes, I would keep one right here.
You would?
I would. Well, I should move it over here so that didn't ruin it.
Yeah.
With the moisture. So the scarab bracelet had an inscription that said, "Cursed be he who moves my body. To him shall come fire, water, and pestilence." Now what happens is Ingram's house burns down right after getting this hand. His house just burns to the ground. And so they rebuild it, and after rebuilding it, his house got destroyed in a flood. So,
I mean,
the curse, maybe, I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it too. I mean, I'm pretty sure he just left the gas on the stove, and then you know, one of the dang kids ended up just plugging up the bathtub and just let it run, didn't turn it off, and you know, and the house.
I don't think that's what happened.
I'm pretty sure it completely debunked. No curse, just human error.
No, that's not what happened.
Human error.
So, give me a second. I'm going to pull up this poll here. We did. I should have had it already.
We did a poll.
I suck at life. Yeah, I did on the
viewer
discussion page. Pardon the elevator music. So you're saying you don't believe in curses at all, huh?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I don't either.
I mean,
just to say, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I don't particularly believe in curses. But some people do, and so to them, it's important.
I mean, would you walk underneath a ladder?
Yeah, I don't care about that. So actually, out of the people that took the poll, we have 8 people take the poll?
800 people took the poll.
6 people took the poll.
600 people.
No, 8 people took the poll.
800 people.
No, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 6 people took the poll. 4 of them believe in curses. 4 out of 6 people believe in curses.
Well, good for
that
them.
took our poll.
That's good for them.
So maybe Ingram wasn't so crazy after all.
Here.
I have no idea.
I hope here.
Now, of the 58 people on scene when the tomb and sarcophagus were opened, only 8 died. That's within a dozen years. In 12 years after they opened Tut's tomb, only 8 people died. That's that's not a great number if you're trying to push an evil curse. Just throwing that out there.
I mean,
but I have a list.
How big could the curse really be, though? You know.
You want to get that?
I think that's beer.
I think shouldn't be coming over. So, now the deaths, the weird, crazy, strange deaths or whatever attributed to King Tut, or opening Tut's tomb, are as follows. Lord Carnarvon, of course, he died on April 5th in 1923, 4 months and 7 days after they opened Tut's tomb. Died of a blood infection. George Gould first died of a fever 16th of May 1923. Prince Ali Kamel Fahmy Bey died on 10 July 23. He was shot by his wife. Colonel the Honorable Aubrey Herbert MP, Carnarvon's brother, became nearly blind and then died from blood poisoning related to a dental procedure meant to help his eyesight. And that was on the 26th of September 1923. So he died because he went blind and was getting a dental procedure done to try to fix his eyesight. And he died of a blood infection, which Carnarvon had died from, who was his half-brother. So we have 2 blood infections. Maybe it's hereditary. They got something wrong with their systems. But under a pretty short time away from each other. Sir Archibald Douglas Reed, a radiologist that x-rayed Tut's mummy, died January 15th of 1924 of a mysterious illness. Now, if you're a radiologist, in 1924, it's probably safe to assume that the mysterious illness you died from, probably some fashion of radiation-based thing like cancer or something. Sir Lee Steck, Governor General of Sudan, assassinated November 19th in 1924 while driving through Cairo. Now, what's important to mention is all of these people were present when Tut's tomb and sarcophagus were actually opened. A.C. Mace, member of the excavation team, died in 1928 from arsenic poisoning. There's not much more detail I could find on that. I'm sure if you looked, you could find it. Feel free. Be my guest. The Honorable Mervyn Herbert, Carnarvon's other brother, half-brother, who was the full brother of Archibald Douglas, no, not Archibald Douglas Reed, Carnarvon's brother.
I feel like
Aubrey Herbert. Huh?
So I feel like you've read too much already.
My brain isn't working. But he died on May 26, 1929 from malarial pneumonia, which sounds like a terrible way to die.
I would not want to go that way.
Yeah. Captain the Honorable Richard Bethel Carter's personal secretary, Richard Bethel, Carter's personal secretary, I can't even read my own handwriting, died November 15th, 1929, victim of a suspected smothering. That's a hell of a way to go. First of all, how do you even get smothered? A victim of a suspected smothering. That sounds like foul play, not like accidental.
Right.
Someone tries to put a pillow over my head, I'm probably just going to beat the crap out of them.
More than likely.
Maybe. I guess if you're already asleep. But he was at some kind of country club or something.
Didn't you, like, wake up, though?
He was at some kind of country club or something when they smothered him. So, Richard Luttrell Pilkington Bethel, 3rd Baron of Westbury and the father of Richard Bethel, died February 20th, 1930. Supposedly, he threw himself from his 7th-story apartment. That sounds like a long way down.
That is a very long way down. I would not want to go that way either.
No.
Nope.
Nope. Splat.
I mean, it'd be cool to fly, you know. Like,
that's not flying. That's not even
stories.
falling with grace. That would just suck.
Or what is it?
Landing
falling
with
style. Falling with style.
If you want to call it that. So lastly, we have Howard Carter himself. He opened the tomb on the 16th of February, 1923. Died more than a decade later on March 2nd of 1939. Some still claim he died of the curse. I'm calling shenanigans on that.
I think so.
I think if there's a curse, everyone would have got it. Much like kissing that questionable girl at the party. Everyone would have got the curse. And I think the death would have been a lot sooner.
That it would have been.
Than that.
Especially, I mean, 8 deaths over a 12-year period.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just not something. I mean, if you watch these movies that Hollywood puts on, everybody dies immediately, you know, or within, like, the week. So,
I don't think Hollywood is the best litmus test for how an actual curse would work.
I can't go that way?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
My bad.
That would be my takeaway from it is he probably didn't die of a curse. A curse probably is a load of horse crap. What it might be, though, is we do know that certain things lie dormant in these tombs. Certain sicknesses, certain illnesses. And once you open it, that bad air can get in there and gases and stuff, you can easily die from that and be overcome. But it would be pretty quick. I don't think it would be, you know. And there's Lord Carnarvon, it very well could have been something to do with the air around where he was at. If he was shaving at the campsite and he had bacteria on his skin and it got on the blade and it caused that blood infection, that's totally realistic to think.
Most definitely. Definitely.
As for his brother, a year later, probably not. You know, or however long later it was. So, I don't know.
I don't think. Curses.
So we're calling shenanigans on the Pharaoh's curse? Is that
I think so.
The curse of the tombs?
I am.
So what do you think is in these voids that they found inside the Great Pyramid or anything at all? Because they argued about structural integrity.
No, they did.
In the article. That it was so the chamber below wouldn't just collapse from the weight.
Right.
Which is quite feasible and realistic sounding.
Absolutely.
But they also didn't say whether or not they wouldn't be able to find pillars to hold the supports up, so who knows. And they don't know if it was one chamber or small chambers making one larger void.
I think that's probably what it is, really.
Just an empty space to stop the thing from collapsing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I mean,
you don't think it's that library that people are always trying to find? What is that called? Jack would know. I can't remember what it's called. Something library. The alien guys think it's there.
I really don't think that there's anything other than the actual structure of the pyramid there.
You think they just build it for shits and giggles?
No.
What are you doing today, Tutmosis?
I don't.
Khufu.
I think it was more of like, you know.
Kufi.
Remembering, you know, not shits and giggles, but most definitely like, you know, of a remembrance of, you know, somebody of empower there that, you know, that they force people to build to be able to.
Khufu, what shall we do today? Well, we have all these Jews. Let's build something large and hurt them with whips. I mean, I wouldn't do that for fun.
No.
But I've never been a pharaoh, and the pharaohs thought themselves god kings.
That they did.
So if you think that you are the Lord, you might so be inclined to do whatever the crap you want, and that could be enslaving people
and building pyramids in your name.
Public service announcement: if you feel like you are God, and your first thought is to enslave people,
don't
go seek help. You're not God. You probably don't even brush your teeth on a regular basis. Probably don't even own a comb. I know because I see these guys that think they're God roaming the streets all the time around here. They're the same guys that are the damn tweaker zombies. The whole lot of them. Sick of it.
If you think you're God, you're probably on bath salts and you're going to end up turning into a zombie and then we're going to have a show about you.
And if you're doing bath salts, make sure your friends film it and send it to us at vanishinggates@gmail.com.
That's with 2 G's.
So if you guys, though, please like, follow, share, subscribe. Go to YouTube, check us out there, follow us there, and click that little bell button notifications. Even if you don't watch us live, you can still catch us there. I mean, these videos are still up on Facebook, but they last longer on the YouTubes.
Absolutely.
I don't know how long it takes for Facebook to remove videos, But I'm not worth risking.
Well,
I'm not trying to risk it.
It doesn't really remove it. It removes it from like your timeline and stuff
Rotation.
like that. But you can always see our videos on our page. All of our videos are saved, and you can always go back and check out all the videos that we have on our Facebook page.
But check out the YouTube page.
Check out the YouTube page, please.
Yes.
And most definitely like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, and we all know that you love us. Because if you didn't, then you want to keep on watching and. We love you guys for watching.
And please send us emails letting us know and send us messages of what you would like us to do. If you would like us to go and do an investigation somewhere that you can think of, send us an email about it. If there's a guest that you'd like to see us interview, send us an email. I'm trying to do more interviews throughout the weekdays so we have more content for you guys.
We have a possible investigation coming on up.
Yes, we'll touch base into that at some point. That's why I was going to bring that up. But
possible.
Please send us information on people you want us to talk to, and I'm trying to do these extra interview shows throughout the week. It's just an easier thing I put together. There's more content and information for you guys. It helps us get more learned in what we're talking about and have a little more things to say, which is probably more entertaining than just hearing us read news articles, which I maintain were still funny.
Oh, you know what? Actually, speaking of cool news things and stuff like that, I was actually talking to somebody today, and he was telling me about something here locally. At a house off of 14th and C.
Don't say anything live.
What?
No information live. We can't. What? We can't do that. We can't because people might go there.
Off of 14th and C.
Yeah, but they
just can't say that.
Well, no, because it's too descriptive. It's just too descriptive of an area.
Okay.
And people if there's like that house that Breaking Bad was filmed at, the people that live there, people go and throw pizzas on the roof all the time. They're getting really pissed off about it.
Nice.
And Amityville Horror House, people go there. People actually live there.
There's a house here locally, even though I've already done all that. But anyways, supposedly there's a gal who ended up dying in the house.
Okay.
And it's like a huge Victorian stuff, and she comes out during the jazz festivals, and only during the jazz festivals. People said that they've seen her through the window, that they've heard her say things and stuff like that. Nothing too concrete or in particular on what she says, but the only time that people have actually seen her though is during the jazz festivals. Mm-hmm. And so she must have really been into jazz music back in her day, and just comes by to enjoy the tunes.
Perhaps. That'd be interesting to check out.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
We definitely have to talk to the homeowner and get their information and approval before we do things.
Most definitely.
That's one thing, guys. If you're going to do an investigation somewhere, if you're going to be filming somewhere, if you're going to do any of that, make sure you talk to the people that own the property, get their permissions first, and don't give their address out if you're going to film it. If you've got a YouTube channel or whatever, don't tell people exactly where you're at unless it's a business or something that wants their stuff out there, because people get really irritated about people just showing up at their property. And it's also a good way to get shot. Saying. If you try to come and investigate my house and I don't know you're coming, I'm probably going to shoot you. And just a fact. Break into my house at midnight, you're probably going to get a slug in the face. I'm not going to lie.
More than likely.
It's way easier just to shoot you. And I'm not the only person that feels that way. So, that said, guys, don't forget to follow us on the Twitter. Check out our Twitch channel. Are you going to be doing any Twitch streaming in the future?
I think I might be getting down. I think we're going to do a raid tonight. So,
you're gonna stream? Oh, you should stream the raid. That'd be awesome.
If everybody is okay with it, then I'd like to do a Twitch stream tonight, and you guys can catch me on at Paco044 on Twitch, and I'm hoping to do it. Yeah, a couple of guys that I ended up playing with, they're not really into the whole, live stream and don't really want, their screen names or voices out there. So, I mean, totally understandable. I get it. But if I end up having a few different people, I'll most definitely be on. So, just keep a lookout.
Cool. And I have been streaming Call of Duty World War II on Mixer.
Okay.
Check out Moojuice Magic on Mixer. And that game is so broken, Activision. I want to punch you in the face, Activision. Act Up Division. Is it Activision? It's got to be Activision. In Activision.
You can't spell horrible without COD.
I like Call of Duty. This is a Call of Duty game I've been waiting for. It's no wall running and jumping 3 times in the air, and it's not Call of Halo. It's definitely Call of Duty. It's World War II, and it's beautiful graphics and decent campaign so far, with the exception of having to carry a guy Yeah, no spoilers.
Dude,
I don't
the
wanna ruin
best,
first
the
mission
best
for
World
you.
War II game that I have ever played was done by Medal of Honor.
Anyway, so we'll go in the retro time capsule one of these days and play games that are 90 years old.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Best game ever.
Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you for watching once again. Please don't forget to share your stories with us. And if you want to do a call into the show and share your story, we can set that up too. Just hit us up in the email, vanishinggates@gmail.com.
2Gs.
And I check that email every day like
day
clockwork.
long.
And I do have a phone again, so I check it more often than I did before.
Moving on up in the world.
Yeah, I had to. Not having a phone sucked.
Yeah, I can see how lonely it could be.
It wasn't lonely. Actually, not having a phone didn't suck because then no one could make me do menial things I didn't want to do because they couldn't get a hold of me. It was glorious. But for the show, it kind of bit.
Yeah, most definitely.
Kind of bit fat butt.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, as always, thank you for watching. I am your host, Jay. We'll catch you next Saturday, right here at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Or check us out on the YouTube channel later. I prefer you do follow us there, too. Watch both. We love it when you watch both. It's good. Give us a twofer. We're worth it. We're so worth it. Anyway, guys, I'm Jay, and this is
Paco.
Thank you guys for watching. We will catch up with you soon. Have a great week. And, yeah, have a good one. We'll see you later.
Love you guys.